start all and see what happens, huh? If they all get going, they all get going. If they don't, they don't. And everything actually looks really good right now. So I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to see if everything's connected. Look at that beautiful thing. Oh my goodness. All right, we're going to see here. I should be going live already. Connect the video source. Post on the profile now. Looks like if I'm going live, right? It looks that way. Let me see what it's doing. I'm going to go take a look at the page. Ingest URLs. Let's go see the page real quick. I just have to check it out. We're going to mute that. We're going to see if it's showing up over here. Oh, I don't want to create a story. Just want to go to my profile, for God's sake. See if it's working. Oh, I'm broadcasting at LelandBestLIVE. That's right. So I need to add another one, right? See if I can add another one then. I'm going to go live here too. I'm going to try to do 4 feeds at once. I've actually got another feed going out to Leland Best Live TV, which used to be Leland Best Live. We lost the handle somehow. Let's see. So I'm going to try another source. I'm going to go with a perpetual stream key over here as well. Copy. Add another Facebook stream. Try to get this right. I think I didn't realize I was on the other channel. At Leland J Best. FB stream number 2. Just in the relay. V2. Okay. And we're going to go with one more dedicated stream. I'm going to see if I can do 4. I don't know that I can. This might be too much. Let's see. Dedicated. Nope, it won't let me do 4. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to do something here. Because this one doesn't seem to be... Let me go check. Hold on. Gotta go see if it's playing right over here. God, where's that page? Streaming way over here. Go to feed. I don't think it's streaming out to this, is it? Nope. It's going somewhere. Oh, I must have lost it. It says it's still live. Gotta find out where. Okay, let's go back here for a minute. Gotta love it, Jim. So that's weird. I'm trying to see where my Facebook feed went. I had a video going. I was live, so I thought. Here, we'll just do this. I'm going to kill that feed. I'm going to bring on this one. There we go. Undedicate that one. We're going to dedicate this one. Oops, I had it. And we'll fire this feed instead. This one should get going in just a second. Connecting. Going live now. Let's see if it needs me to fill something out. Looks like it still needs post details and everything. Testing AIO relay V2.0. All right, let's see. See if this actually gets going yet. I gotta go live. See, that's the thing with this one, though. That's what I was thinking. Okay, there we go. Let's see where we're at here. Oof, I didn't break something just now. But you never know. I think I may have done already. Oh, it's going. It's a going. It's a going. Let me double check. There I am. Let me hear what the audio sounds like out there. There I am. Sounds okay. Let me hear what the audio sounds like out there. I'll go with that. All right, we're going to pause that feed. We're going to bring it up to full. Oh, okay. I just got to take a look at things. I'll go with that. Right, okay, off goes the volume. And turn on some lights. Don't even go in. I know I sound rough. I'm still getting over some issues. Trying to get past some issues. So we're streaming all over the place right now. Well, welcome to the broadcast. I'm going to be hanging out for a little bit with you guys just to show off AIO Relay version 2.0. Kind of excited. We've gotten this far, and it's taken a long time to get here, honestly. We started as a small little relay app running nothing but RTMP with Node Media Server, and a lot of things have changed since then. I'm going to put on my headphones. Okay. I got a mic open here somewhere. There we go. It's on the Facebook playback. I just want to make sure I'm not talking to myself in my ear. So I'm watching the feed on Facebook right now, and I'm playing with the AIO Relay version 2.0, something I've vibe coded over the last year. And I'm going to get in really deep now with what it's capable of, because I want you guys to be able to see this in its full glory. Now that it's, I've been beating myself up trying to get this thing to do what I really wanted it to do in the end. And I finally came up with something that I think works really cool. So I'm going to take a little pause. That overlay you just saw is a CYA overlay, which is just to stop the feed, cover the feed, basically that cover your you-know-what. When something goes wrong, it mutes the audio from the feed and it stops the video from making it out to your sources. Does that on all outgoing sources at once. So it's something that we showed off before, but now it's finally in play. So I'm going to get you to the main screen here in just a moment so you can see how this actually all operates. AIO Relay came from a necessity. It came from a website that went down that I used to use regularly, known as Stage10.tv. That app used to allow me to multi-stream to several locations. And I didn't pay for the app because I had an enterprise version copy that was given to me by Dave over there at Stage 10. And it was because I helped them get their Angels seed money to get that app up and running. And it was just a few phone calls. But in the end, it was well worth my time and effort to play around in the app and just have fun with it. So I got to stream up to 15 locations at a time. And I think you could actually go to 30 if you considered all the custom options that were available through custom RTMP. But it allowed me to just broadcast and syndicate wherever I wanted. Then when that went away, we got a Dear John letter. I'm going to share the website with you here in just a second. Let me go get a page loaded. I haven't been sharing much screen stuff lately. So I want you to see, it's probably gone by now anyway. I suspect the domain is gone. Yeah, domain finally got dumped. So there's nothing there. But I'm going to go over to AI. You can go over to aiorelay.us. Should have the updated website page there. Yeah. Okay, cool. And I'm going to show you the way this app has evolved over the last, we'll say year. I don't even remember when I started. I got to go back and check the details and the dates and everything else. But a lot of really cool things have happened since then. I am coming through you. I am coming to you directly through the app. We're not playing games with the encoders right now. I built a WebRTC studio into AIO Relay so that if you wanted to just go live instantly or just record yourself like a Loom would instantly, then you could do that without having to go through all kinds of config settings and save, a bunch of stuff. It was meant to be a very quick on-site, get it online, divide it out to wherever you needed to send it, use it as a confidence monitoring tool, whatever you wanted to do with it. Just a lot of intricacies that I wanted to build into it as I kept going got more complicated and more complicated. When you see the settings menu alone, I think you'll understand what I mean by that. But let's go into the studio for a minute. I'm going to share the screen with you. So we're going to go into the screen share mode of AIO Studio. And you're going to see me drop down into the corner and do a little pip while I bring the display up for the desktop share that I'm going to be sharing with you right now. And this, again, is through the appliance. So what I have here is the website for AIO Relay loaded into the page. I can move this pip wherever I like, just like on a Loom. If you decide to move it out of your way, you can move it over somewhere where it's not even obtrusive at all, somewhere maybe over on the left. And I just wanted to highlight on the letter we received that day from Stage 10, and it read something like this. After more than 10 years of serving creators and merchants, our platform will be going offline today. We don't look at this as the end, but rather a new beginning. We're still innovating, pushing the technical boundaries of live streaming in interactive and shoppable formats. You won't recognize us, but we'll recognize you, the creator, the entrepreneur, the interactive entertainer. We want to thank you for your loyalty and creativity and entrepreneurial spirit. While your accounts will no longer be active and the platform will no longer be available, we'll hope you'll be able to find a new home for your live streaming and wish you every success. Live stream team. That's not a dear live stream letter I've ever seen, and I don't know what to say. But the purpose behind that was kind of a slap in the face, honestly. We didn't get access to any of our video content that had been stored on the VOD or voice, video on demand system that was there at Stage 10. So any recordings that weren't downloaded locally were lost. And anything that was stored there was no links to any of those feeds, so you couldn't share that stuff out anyway, really. But all the setup, everything you did to configure things, just all gone, wiped out, completely eradicated with no foreknowledge, nothing. I mean, we were just let go. So that caused me to start to build AIO Relay. And we had a lot of you come on board for a beta test in the beginning. In the beginning, if you look at the website, you'll see what we started with. And that's here at the SaaS detour, you might say, where we were first coming off of a SaaS product and saying, okay, find a way to get away from SaaS and install locally and have the same feature sets that you would have if you were outside of this type of system, but be able to go ahead and run this on your own and not have to think about what other people were, charging you to come online. So the idea was to just be able to get in here and do something right away. And it seems to work pretty well. I'm really excited about this because even then, all we had was what was typical. The encoder went to an ingest site, which was the cloud CDN, and then that relayed everything out to your Twitch or YouTube or a smart RTMP, wherever you wanted to go. So you were basically paying someone for a service, or you were using it. Excuse me, drink here. So we were using it basically as a means to just split the signal. Okay. When we did our first Node Media server update to or when we first built AIO Relay with a Node Media server, it was basically a way to use HLS to monitor the feeds and then set up an FFmpeg egress process where Node Media server controlled both the view of what was being sent out of the appliance. And that was just attaching an encoder. There was no studio. It was just send your signal, split it here, get a preview of what's coming into the appliance, and then we'll let you multi-stream out of the device rather than having to pay someone to use their CDN to stream out. Now, obviously, you need a larger platform. You're going to need something like a fiber network. It's going to be a demand of the system because of the amount of overhead that you're involved with. So in this case, we decided to go ahead and rebuild it. Node Media Server was going out of form, basically. It just wasn't enough to compete with. So, and it was a first starter program. It was something I wanted to test the waters with and see what I could build in the first place. So from here, I went ahead and assigned Media MTX to the task. And we decided to go ahead and build the egress pipeline just as we did before. But I wanted to also add a WebRTC player. And full studio, basically. And that's what we did. And that's what I'm broadcasting out of right now. So I want to show you how that studio functions inside AIO Relay. It's a little different than what you might expect for a type of WebRTC platform like you would see when you log in and sign up and connect your Facebook accounts and things like that. So it's not the way it works. What we have done is we've provided a transport and processing core via WebRTC ingest at AIO Studio, which is basically an all-in-one studio. You can broadcast out with the player, you can broadcast out with an encoder, or you can broadcast out a playlist and let the playlist continue to go 24/7. It's your choice. The WebRTC only preview monitor is where you're actually going to watch your stream go through the appliance and where you're going to interact with the stream yourself as a user. And then a lot of the new stuff that we brought into the studio, the managed ingest source selections, the capabilities of camera microphone. We have only just a single feed right now. We will be adding the ability to add multi-cameras short. It's not going to be a big leap from where we're at now. It's just something that I wanted to focus on one feed at a time and make sure that we had a good solid feed construction before we went anywhere else. The studio audio, as you can hopefully tell, I've spent a lot of time creating a studio audio environment for people that don't know how to set a studio audio environment. I hope that's understandable. Of course, I'm using a Blackline audio device right now, similar to anything that you find out there, like a Red Scarlet or anything else. But it's always going to give me a better tone and quality of broadcast than a lot of people just come out here on a mic. But by the fact that we can use the browser filters via WebRTC and the filters through FFmpeg on the output end, we can create some pretty elaborate studio environments, including, I have a little push to talk here where I can change this to a lo-fi and go immediately to a walkie-talkie mode like this. I'm sure you guys can hear this in the recording. I don't hear it myself live during the broadcast. I simply have the light access to see the light on the button light up. So that's a feature I just threw in for good measure, just for fun. So let's do this. You can move the pip wherever you want on this display while you're broadcasting. Doesn't matter. This is fully dynamic. So much like a Loom video recorder, you just simply drag the stuff around. Now I'm going to go onto the screen in desktop mode. So I'm going to switch desktops and I'm going to go into the appliance itself. And I'm going to share the appliance. So you're going to see the video loop back in the studio portion of the screen. I'm going to actually fix that as well. This is where I'm just going to move myself out of the way. I'm going to turn off the pip actually. Okay. So now all you see is the loop back of the control panel. But if I close this, watch this. This is where it gets kind of cool because I'm not turning off the feed, but I will be able to show you the video without the loop back. Now I can watch the screen and see what's going on over there. Okay, so now that that monitor is closed off, you don't get the video loop back. All you see is the device itself. So let's talk about the device. What is it? Why is it like this? Why did I build it like this? What was the purpose behind it? I'll give it all to you right now. I wanted a platform that would get out of the way. Okay, I didn't want a full-blown web platform. I didn't want the Chrome headers. I didn't want the file pull down stuff. I didn't want all the bookmark buttons on it. if you recall devices like Voicemeeter, okay, this is what really kind of impressed me when I first loaded Voicemeeter. Okay, this is Voicemeeter. So Voicemeeter is also an appliance app. And when you load it, it just runs in its own little shell. It's in its own little window, per se. And that little window is draggable. You can pick it up and move it around on the screen wherever you want to. Now, I'm not sure you can see that on your screen right now. There may be a little bigger delay, or because this is an overlay window, it's not, yeah, you can't see it on the screen. So because I'm probably sharing just the appliance and not the overall screen itself. But if you're familiar with Voicemeeter, you know how that appliance works. Now, the only difference between mine in that regard is that I've only placed a few move buttons on the appliance. So there's 4 corners. I used to have handlebars on the side like you do on a piece of rack equipment. And I was going to let people drag that handlebar, and you still can. There's no handlebar there anymore, though, okay? And there are no grips on the top panel. I did that on purpose just because I didn't want this. It's difficult sometimes to put these grab handles in there and still allow the unit to resize. But we only did it in 2 ways. So rather than resize by stretching, the appliance is just that. It's a permanent shell case. This is a 14 by 40. Actually, I believe we went 1500 in the end. Here, let's check. If I do a screen capture, I'll be able to tell you. So that is a 1500 by 540 appliance, okay? And I didn't go 550, and I do need to stretch it out a little bit. There's actually a little gap here in the Tory shell with the window behind it that you can see behind if I drag some stuff over it, but we're not going to do that. So you probably wondering, okay, so what's the big deal? It just looks like a piece of hardware. Yes, that's what it's meant to be. Now, the studio is live right now. You can't see it operating because I've put a screen over it. Now, if I were to cover the video completely while I'm broadcasting to you, that's the CYA button I did earlier where it showed the color bars. I'm just going to demonstrate that really quick. When I click on this, a banner is going to drop down with color bars and the AIO logo. And the mics are going to mute. This is a way to cover your butt when something goes wrong during the live feed. And you turn the button off and you're good to go. So you guys probably saw me click it. You're going to see the screen drop like a curtain on the broadcast, and then it's going to go away because I just clicked it right away. And that's it. So that screen stays as long as that button's clicked. Okay. So if you need to cover your butt for a period of time, you just click the CYA button and you're good to go. Now let's get into the gist of the panel. This is what you're going to see live at all times when you're in the studio. Okay? The studio is turned on by the on and off button. If I turn it off, I'm going to kill the feed, not the feed, but it's going to go to a placeholder until I turn this back on again. I'm just not going to go through that process at this time. I'll demonstrate that another time. This is where you find the settings for the studio. There are some control buttons along the bottom, such as the speaker mute, which if I turn this on, I'll be able to hear myself in my own headset on my own device. Okay, I'll just be playing back the feed. I can mute. I just muted the mic on you. I'm muting the mic on you while I'm playing. You can see the UV meters, or VU meters, I'm sorry. I always call them UV meters. The VU meters will drop out, as will the waveform audio, which is picking up on a very minute delay. You can see this only pops up when the live feed's actually activated. Okay. Now we've got a lot of controls here. And when I say controls, they're everywhere. Okay, so the first thing I want to go through is the top menu bar on the device. On the top menu bar, we have the clock, which is just the regular timer. We have an ingest feed timer, which fires the minute the studio is opened, and an actual live ingest feed, whether it's through the WebRTC Studio, through the encoder process, or through the playlist, which I have a choice of over here. Okay, right now we're in the studio. I knew my voice was going to do this to me today. So the toolbar at the top is how we control the studio. This is how we set it up, and this is how we monitor and watch the outgoing volume, speakers, mic mute, the little walkie-talkie button. I'm going to go ahead and record this locally while we're here. Okay. And it's going to typically default to anywhere you want. You just got to go there and get to where you want to record from. I've recorded several already, but I'm going to go ahead and save another one. It gives you the date and time and everything, the recording when you start. So I can stream and record at the same time. This was fully intended so that people can save their own archives locally or just record locally and not stream at all, or just stream and not record at all. So you have a choice. Okay. Now I'm going to be able to get 2 archives, one on YouTube, actually 3, 4, because I have 2 YouTube channels running and 1 Facebook channel running currently. And I'll show you where all that is in just a minute. So the settings for the studio are pretty straightforward. Okay, so you can see here, this will flash while you're recording. If you wanted to take a photo of the live studio, you simply turn on the studio, hit the button. The photo will load. Now I don't have the background. Typical of any share screen video process like this. Okay, if you see the word pip here, this will also represent the button for the cam only feature. So if I turn cam back on, you'll see here I am. I'm back in the pip. It's because the camera's always been operating, the cam is behind. So for my ability to provide this type of screen gives me a better look for the broadcast, because now I'm talking to the people just like before. If I want to show the lower third, I just click the L3 button. The lower third shows up in the lower left, which you'll see on your screen in a second. And then from there, it fades on its own in 5 seconds. Okay. Now, having that slight delay, you just have to realize people are going to be about 5-6 seconds behind you. You don't have to think about it. Just act in real time and don't consider the delay. Just act as though everything is in real time, and everyone will act as though it's in real time 5 seconds later. Okay. And this is typical of most live broadcasts. I mean, you see that in general on all streams out to YouTube. It's about the best, unless you use their studio. Okay, so we're in cam and screen share mode in a mix, okay? Now the mix is an on-off button, and the swap button next to it swaps, just like it says, between cam and screen share. So it's back and forth. If you want to just jump on the camera real quick and then use that cam button to turn off the pip, it goes away, and you see pip so that you know the pip is still active. Okay, you see that little pip there where the mouse is at. So if I hit pip again, then the screen comes back. Oh, you see full screen. And then you'll see the split screen again. So if I do the split screen again, and then swirl because you're not in the compositor. And I did that only for one reason only. If there was any reason people didn't want to use any overlays at all and just wanted clean video to record something real quick, or to just shoot out to YouTube and not have the lower third, not have the branding in there, they could just fire cam and run on raw video without the compositor. No degradation at all of the video feed. It's just straight out of your camera. Okay. Now the file process is kind of a default setup. I've gone with this method for a reason. So if you take a vertical file, it brings it in vertically, and you'll see there's a little stretch. So I can move it, and then I can also stretch it if I'd like. And I can resize it slightly. Now, it's not like it's a big thing. I didn't want it to be something radically crazy to try and operate. So when it comes on the screen, it just grabs a location off to the right or off to the side where the TM is located. And it gives you the ability to stretch it from its normal size up to about 2 times its size. And then you'll see a scrubber. You'll see a player on the video screen while you're here as the user. And you simply hit
hey guys, Spitfire here, hanging out on
you can scrub into other portions of the video if you'd like.
Pleasure to have you.
Local business owners over here putting their business online one day. So it's that type of process. It's really cool. And then you can actually go full player and expand that, and then the pip just drops down into the corner while you're broadcasting. You can still, from this point, get rid of the pip as well, restart the video and play it in full screen mode if you'd like, and bring it back to a pip at any time. So the convenience I wanted to have there was simple. It's just back and forth as quickly as possible to get back and forth to these items without having to learn a whole bunch of processes. Just a couple of buttons. That's it. And I'll show you that in just a second. So I'm going to get back to the swap. I'm going to bring the pip back up. We're going to go back to screen share here in a second. So let me close this. Go back to screen share. I'm going to do an entire screen this time so you guys can see the whole screen. So I'm basically here on a full-size monitor, a 32-inch monitor, with the display of the appliance in the window, which is to show it doesn't fill the whole screen. Okay. So it's sized in such a way that it will still allow you to see the rest of your desktop and the rest of your desktop icons. Now, the other thing here, you can see the buttons now. For switching between these, it's really just a simple button click. You can turn the TM off. You can click the lower third on. It'll be on for 5 seconds, then it'll go away. Now, as far as, let me get rid of that. As far as the file process, more buttons show up once you click an image or a file. You'll see this even works in desktop share mode. It's basically just replacing the pip. Okay.
Check. Test 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Check.
Pause, expand. Everything's right here. Okay. It's all on the toolbar. The SS2 goes away, which is screen share 2. For when you're doing file video uploads like this, it's just a temporary thing. So you can see if we bring the TM back, we can move the pip if we need to. And now if I wanted to do a second screen share, I could. I can share my code file. It splits the video into 50-50. I can add a cam to that if I want. And now I come into the side. And this is a way for me to simply demonstrate software. We know the screen split of the 50-50 is a big stretch. Okay, that's why we added the cam mode. This reduces the stretch on the screen to the left. I'm sorry, my throat's going. I mean, I'm not going to be able to broadcast much longer here today. It's been an issue ever since I got off of this Bactrim from the parasite infection. So I'm dealing with that. But other than that, this allows people to demonstrate an app while they're maybe showing off the code that it takes to make the app. Okay, and we'll be doing that in some of our demonstrations as we move ahead, because I want people to see me producing these apps in real time, so you guys can see what it takes to build them. I honestly think there's a freaking cat hair in my throat. Something. So let me just do one thing while I'm here. I want to let you guys see the settings window for a moment and go over the rest of the face of the app. So in the middle, you'll see the master switch. Yeah, this is going to be rough. We have the master switch. Now the power down button is just that. If you hit power, you have a choice to proceed or cancel. To get out of that, there are 10 forms of wave bars that are set up through the audio sequencing. You can use any of these that you like at your pleasure. This is just a way for me to let you visualize your audio sequencing in its own fashion, your own form. The grid is really just a visual. There's nothing to this that is really data driven except what's going through it. So this stuff only works in a data-driven format, and there are some settings to some of these, like this one and the React one, I believe. You can set some of the different formats on 3 or 4 of these. The wave is the one I like the best because when it's flat, it's flat. It's a flat line. I designed it that way purposefully so that whenever audio was not passing through the wave, it was going to be a flat line effect. That works as well with the EQ and the bars. That's considered flat line there. And the radar is always flashing. The orbit's always spinning. Unless it stops, you see what I mean? It just stops cold. So that's just a way to visually monitor and have confidence that your audio is working. Now we have some other audio settings on the back end of the master switch, which if you come over here, and if you first looked here on the settings for the studio, we didn't even actually go through all these. This is where you can hot swap your camera, your audio, and your playback. You can refresh if these freeze up for any reason. You can hot swap and set dynamically your incoming format for the broadcast, the resolution anywhere from 720 to 1080 to 4K, and a file format of MP4 or WebM, along with the FPS setting anywhere from 24, 25, 30, and 60. I felt that was adequate. We could go to 120, but I'm not even going to go there on this type of build right now. You can add a logo file for your TM, which is a 125 by 125 max 10 meg limit. We're not looking for big quad. This is just a bug, guys. Just make a little bug of your brand, stick it in the app, and you're good to go. There's one other place you can brand yourself in the app, and we haven't gotten there yet. We're going to show you in a minute. The lower third is very simple. It's a bottom left, bottom right, center. You can choose one of the 3. You enter your name and your subtitle. You pick a font out of 6. Okay, this isn't meant to be like let's get crazy and form all kinds of cool scriptable fonts. If you want to do those kind of overlays, use vMix and use the encoder end of this app. So the idea here was to just build a quick studio that people can come out and broadcast with on the fly instantaneously, get their data out there, create a quick video, do whatever, and make something of it. Okay. The pip position, where do you want your little pop-up pip, picture in picture? You decide lower right, up, lower left, upper right, upper left, box or circle. And if you're going to split the screen vertically or horizontally, okay, that's what the screen splits for. And that's it. That's all the studio does, okay? But it does what it needs to do. Now, you guys, you couldn't see those, could you? Because it was kind of showing in that corner up there. Yeah, it's up there. Either way, the rest of the app, so let me go back to a regular screen share. I'm going to dump screen share too. So we're back to a regular screen share. And now on the single, I can't really zoom in on this. This is something I would like to be able to do next, is create a zoom effect on these screen shares so that I could literally just zoom in on the app and show you some more of it. But we don't really have to. Across the center of the top bar, a system active icon, an ingest timer fire when the studio actually has a live ingest of some sort, whether it's a studio ingest, an encoder ingest, or a playlist ingest. Doesn't matter. That's when these activate. It'll tell you whether you're running on a dedicated, a T, or a hybrid stream mode, which if you want to learn about stream scopes, simply click on the eye here on the app and you'll see that a single D affected dedicated streams only. T affects T and shared encoder only, and then hybrid applies to both when applicable. I'm in LAN mode right now, which means it's not a local only appliance. It could be accessed, the UI could be accessed from any device on the network if it wanted to be. I'm simply installed it here, and it's available because it runs as a server UI interface. It's a companion system. The server runs on the background of your taskbar. You can show or hide the UI at any time from the taskbar, and you can also recover the UI to the center of the screen if it's located on another monitor or somewhere else on your system. You can reset relay from here, which will reset the backend server, or shut it down completely, which will shut off all services, all streams, and close the app out entirely. If you need to, you can simply use the I/O button on the app itself to close it out of your way, and then click on it here to bring it back. If you right-click the I/O button, something really cool happens. When you do that, another window pops up over on a browser somewhere, and this is the AIO Relay Live Ops window. This is an HTML pattern stream API display of everything that's going on in the app currently. So not only do you have real-time analytics available so that you can take a look at where your streams are going out. You can see here I disabled one of the Facebook streams. But you can see I'm currently running 2 YouTube streams, one out to out to Leland Best Live TV and one out to Best AI TV. I didn't send one to Best Live TV this time. And one out to Facebook, which you're watching right now. All the telemetry sources, system bandwidth up and down, headroom, availability for the media telemetry. Yeah, we're doing okay here. No audio silence, bandwidth up, bandwidth down, tells me everything that's going on, when it was last updated, what my link capacity is, how many destinations are operating, whether there are any errors in play currently, and how your destination status is going. And if something starts to break, you'll obviously see that. Okay. So just a little feature I wanted to add in for people. So this is going to hit me hard. Like I said, we're in LAN mode. That means anybody can access the UI from another device. The filters, okay. That's simply FFmpeg filters for ASTEDs. A metadata scale, set SAR and set DAR, so that we know those are all functioning and operational in the FFmpeg side. We have a countdown timer of 10 minutes down to 10 seconds. You simply start the timer. You will see that operate in the corner. So this is more or less for your own streaming purposes, tracking purposes, record key, whatever you're doing. If you need to know times and be able to run quick timers, we put them in for you. We also put in a stopwatch. So if you wanted to go ahead and set a time or make it a countdown, it's your choice. You could go ahead and start the stopwatch and see, okay, we're going to give them 10 seconds to do this. Okay, we're down to the last 10. You're done. It's up to you how you do this. I'm going to have to let the wife let the cat in over here because I'm busy right now. Hun, can you let him in, please? You do have the ability in this case to design, save your own profiles. Now, this is a default profile that we're working in right now. And I'm going to go over the rest of this in just a second. But when it comes to settings, I think I gave you guys more than you ever need. Okay. We mentioned audio settings on the back end, along with those that were available in the studio. So the studio has echo, noise, and gating, along with a ducking. If you want to play back those videos and be able to talk over them, let's say you have some really loud music videos or something, you could turn the ducking on, and that way when you do speak, the video playback underneath you will be ducked slightly. The lo-fi can be a permanent setting as well if you want to go ahead and do that and set it to this so that every time you talk, you sound like walkie-talkie. You can do that. But the push-to-talk is my preferred method. And then an all switch to turn on all these features or turn them all off at the same time. We have a gain with an auto gain function that can be reset, or you can change your gain levels to whatever you'd like. You can monitor the peak gain here on the audio processing VU. And then close that out of your way, and you're going to be back to your studio. The other audio settings that I mentioned before that are part of FFmpeg are the filter audio studio filters, I should say, the FFmpeg studio filters. This is where you can swap between 44.1 and 48K, and also add in noise redux, high pass, normalization, compression, a limiter, and all of them if you want at once, or turn them all off and select and choose, along with a 7-band EQ. Okay, so we want to make sure you guys had all this stuff available, at least as far as settings. These are all hot dynamic features. You just adjust them at your leisure, and they should be saved in your profile appropriately. You can also hot switch between AIO Studio, Encoder, and Playlist. Okay, what that means is there's going to be a placeholder dropped to keep the feed open. You'll get color bars or whatever you set. So let's go to the settings for a minute and talk about customization. We have a bunch of stuff that you can do in the back end. We've got an AI component coming. The IO condition is the control surface. We're looking at possible Stream Deck actions very soon. Haven't gone there yet. Now you can store all your keys here inside the system for all of your locations. Wherever you want to stream to, just get your stream keys, store them in the system. We avoided having people use Google sign in, Facebook sign in, Twitch sign in, and all those for one main reason. We built a local-only app that didn't require SaaS CDN, and it didn't require other people to see your data. It's about keeping your data to yourself. It's about keeping your data locally, and it's about not having to sign into an account owned by a third party in order to access your own streaming services. All you do is get the URL and the stream key and stream from the device. I'm really sorry for what's happening with my voice today. I'm totally losing it. I'm going to try some gummies. Okay. So we have monitor settings. From before, that was the waveform monitor. These are the three that you can change, two that you can change, the LFO and the React. Network settings. I mentioned I was in LAN mode. Now my nose is running. What that means is I'm not running on a local host. I'm running on the local IP number. That opens the appliance up to the rest of my network so that I can access the UI from any machine. Secure tunnel mode is something we got to be really careful with. Now we're talking about giving access to the outside source, securing the tunnel, providing maybe a domain name attachment to it, and allowing access to the API and everything else from the back. Okay? We give you that opportunity, but there's a warning involved. If you don't have that secure tunnel built properly, you can lock yourself out of the UI. Okay? So you can shut down the back end from here as well. This is just something we gave you as a network connection thing. Yeah, if you need to, you can. LAN mode, again, is just for that unique purpose of being able to access the UI from any machine on the network. That's it. Outputs. This is where, as far as dedicated streams go, let me define that real quick for you. So as far as stream scope goes, there are three types of modes. This is the switch to turn them on. Let's see if I were to switch this now, it would actually crutch the feed for just a second. Right now, I'm currently running 3 dedicated feeds, one out to each source. It's not a duplicate feed. It's not a one single source of truth. It's 3 individual FFmpeg instances pushing 3 individual streams, which makes it unique because then I can shut off any one of the streams without killing all 3. Okay. In T mode, it's a single source of truth. You have one stream divided into a manifold where all those streams are going out to several source endpoints. The only way you can cut down any one of those, but if the single source of truth dies, they all die. Okay? Not the case with dedicated. If one of those dedicated servers dies, the other continue to run. Hybrid. It's a combination of both, where you have access to as many dedicated streams as you possibly could use and need, along with the T-Muxer, which allows for the manifold. And that's a way that you could do all your confidence monitor streaming off of a T while you dedicate the 2 YouTube channels, or the YouTube and the Facebook channel, or Facebook and Twitch channel, or whatever. That way you dedicate 2 individual feeds that if one breaks, the other does not. And then maybe all your producers have a T, so that if the T breaks, all the producers are like, oh, shit, where'd the feed go? It'll be back in a minute. Kind of thing, or whatever. So it's a choice you have to make. Stream details, just that, without having to go into the IO ops page, which you can operate from anywhere. Okay, you could operate that off of a mobile device and just watch the ops on your phone while you're checking this. Tells you how many feeds are active, how many are airing out, where their sources are coming from. You can instantly switch between the 3 ingest sources. You can also reset your outgoing resolution, video bitrate, audio bitrate, FPS, and format. Which, yes, you can take 16:9 and reformat it into 4:3 or 9:16 if you'd like. If you haven't seen, YouTube's got a really cool new feature now with an auto crop, AI auto crop, which I just got access to today. As a matter of fact, freaked me out when I was going to broadcast because I saw 2 inputs of the same thing. And it was really just a side view of what the short was going to look like when I went through it. So it was AI cropping the main character and centering them on the screen from the 16:9. It's kind of cool. If you have it already, let me know. All right, so we're into, this is an apply thing though. If you apply this, it's going to restart the FFmpeg outgoing feed. It doesn't restart the stream. It just, you'll see a blip, maybe. It'll be so fast you won't, if you just change the resolution, you won't see it. You may see better quality from, say, a 720 to a 1080 or something like that, but that's it. Okay, now where's all the sweetness that you guys haven't seen yet? Settings, that's one thing. Profiles, you can build a new profile and edit, rename, delete, do whatever you want with that. And everything will be saved inside the settings and all the other goodies stuff inside your profile. You can upload a branding overlay. You guys probably don't see where this is. Where is it? I'm going to show you where this is in just a second. All the user documentation is here, including installation guides, technical specs, quick start guide, and user manual. The reset columns button. That's a thing we're going to show you in just a sec. This is where you enter your license code to activate and revalidate your system, and diagnostics logging. We've been using this in full-blown enabled high-end diagnostics so that we could take a look at what it was doing while we were playing around. So we want to see every log, every drop, anything breaks, we want to see it. Okay. We have a built-in speed test offering that you can just go ahead and fire it. You'll be able to see what's going on. This is where you're going to be able to at least get a good idea of whether you're picking up the speeds that you want to be picking up. I'm on a 1 gig fiber network now, so everything's 1 gig up, 1 gig down. So I should be seeing that in the speed test. This is embedded into the app. It's an open source known as Open Test, or Open Speed Test, I should say. And you'll get answers quickly. So if you think you're having bandwidth problems, just check it in the app. I'm not going to make you go anywhere. Okay. Sound. Yes, we built sound into the app. The sound effects are currently off. We've got a couple of our own weird, deep, dark, freaky sounds that we've added on our own. We intend on adding some other sound packs, which have not been added yet to the system. But you can change these to your own defaults if you like. Go back to the default, change the platform lock on, lock off type buttons. When you click on them, you can make your own sounds or use the default sounds in the system. Playlist. This is one we're really proud of. Really easy to do too, honestly. But we had some issues with it in the beginning. So you're going to be it's going to open a folder in your install directory called playlist. All you need to do is take a couple of videos. Okay. You guys didn't see that. I'm going to take a couple of videos. And I'm going to drag them over to that. Oh, I'm going to copy them actually. Hello, copy. I'm going to copy them over here. These are some things I'm doing for Matt. So we put them in the playlist folder. Okay. Now that they're in the playlist folder, and if I refresh, they'll show up here because it's going to read that folder. Now I can select a bunch of files, and then I can hit play, and that playlist will start to play, and the worker will take over, and then you can just play those in that order and do the live stream with the videos that you set up. So if you have training videos you want to just play for your people, do that and say to go watch the feed at 3 o'clock or whatever, and then just fire the feed at 3 o'clock. That type of thing. Okay, and then the user, obviously we talked about. The last one was the themes. We're still building some of those. We just stopped because honestly, we may remove the themes altogether. The themes may just be stuff as like an overlay on the background or something like that, because when we first dealt with light and dark mode, I totally lost my mind. I was like, no, we're going to stick with dark mode, and we didn't want light mode at all. So that was when we were still in the light mode era. We may decide to go back to that, but currently I'm not thinking we're going to. So that may be removed soon. We'll see. So let's talk about the rest of the side of the app here. Start all, stop all, RTMP, RTMPS. What's this HLS RTC? What's the HW, CPU, platforms, reorg? Who knows what all this stuff means, right? Well, it's pretty straightforward. It all has to do with the drawer. Okay, there's a drawer that I took months to build properly. You can see that little line there. That's the other one I got to fix. See that? You see my logo underneath the box there. See that? That's the brand coming through that little slit in the gap in the size of the appliance to the size of the shell that it belongs in. I'm going to be adjusting that today. But what you see here in the bandwidth monitor is I'm running on a 2400 network, okay, 2400 megabits per second. You see a net and a overall. So we're talking about throughput mostly. There's nothing coming in at all. And there's almost 18 megabits per second leaving the app. It peaks at 30 every now and then. But that's with everything, okay? That's literally everything. That's my playbacks. I'm looking at 3 different streams over here coming back to me from 2 YouTube streams and a Facebook stream, plus my Facebook interface stream where I have to connect to Facebook to set up the stream, okay? So all those feeds are activating. And I'm running them all on one appliance through a single network, and I'm not even using 18 megabits up, 32 maybe total throughput, okay? That's net. So what is that doing to me? Do you see any hurt? Do you see? I'm multi-streaming from a single source of truth here in my studio. I'm not using a CDN. I'm not using an outside platform. I'm not paying anybody $30 a month. I'm just doing it. You know what I mean? And I'm really sorry for my voice right now. This is ridiculous. I'm going to have to go see the doctor again. So where we're at. This okay. There are status pills here. If things go crazy, if you lose your audio, if your audio starts to drop completely, you'll see audio loss. You'll see poor signal quality instead of okay. You'll see high jitter if your thing's jittering like crazy. You'll know it because it's going to tell you on the screen. Now, these little settings here, URL, you're going to be broadcasting primarily RTMPS. That's going to be the default. That's what everybody wants to see nowadays. But if you have to kick back to RTMP, you can. HLS and RTC are basically the embed code. So you're either going to play through a low latency HLS feed or a WebRTC feed. I want it to default to RTC. Encoder wise, you can either use the hardware or GPU encoder or a CPU encoder. So in this case, we want it to auto figure that based on the hardware that's installed on the machine, which will typically default to hardware or GPU. And then these two buttons are the really unique ones. We're going to talk about those in a second. You copy the embed code from here. So this is the copy code. You'll get the code to paste. We'll show you what that looks like. Looks like this. Okay, that's the embed code. It's sitting at a 640 by 360, but you can adjust those once you get them in if you're going to embed that into a website somewhere. the reload, ingest, and flush cache do just what they say. If you're having trouble with your ingest feed coming in, maybe it's breaking up, maybe it's got some stutter, maybe it's just messing up really bad and there's something wrong with the connection, try a reload ingest and see if it doesn't fix your ingest preview. Flush the cache. This is for the embedded HLS player. It creates single frame snapshots in a cache that are used to run the low latency HLS streamer, okay, the stream player. You can flush this if it gets all messed up, if you have a bunch of leftover files from a stream that was done previously. You can add a stream at any time to the system. Let me show you how that works. Here's the drawer. Open up the platform, and you see what is the glory of AIO Relay. This is not going well. So I have 6 columns for platform locations: YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitch, and any custom RTMP feed you'd like to send. Right now, you can see we are live streaming out to Stream 1 and Stream 2 on YouTube. We have 2 streams set up for Facebook. One is on Leland Best Live. The other is on the one you're watching right now on Leland Best's profile. A lot of data behind these. Big D in green is what is representing the dedicated feed. You will see the resolution. You will see the video bitrate. You will see the status streaming. You will see the RMS peak levels. You will see the time that the feed has been live. And you also see the peak. If you click the settings button, you can mute any of these streams out of their own at any time. But if you click the settings, you will see the ingest or RTMP URL and stream key. Any saved keys you want to switch to, you can. You click the dedicated feed on or off here, and you can even override the outputs for each individual streaming location if you prefer. Okay. Not just here. So this is like this is a recode. This is a transcode set where anything coming in your ingest can be transcoded to the outgoing exiting feed to the destination cards. And then each destination card could even be overridden from there. So if you want to add a stream, you simply click Add Stream. You can decide whether it's YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, TikTok, or whatever, or simply do it over here in each column and click Add Stream. You get the same thing. Or click the little plus button and you get the same thing. Okay. So you can add as many stream cards to this as you'd like. Just keep adding them if you prefer. Just hit save. Add as many as you think you're going to need. And you will see the drawer continue to expand underneath the appliance. You simply close the drawer. If you're done loading all your stream keys and everything else, you can hold down that button and lock that drawer closed. You'll see the green bar at the bottom of the appliance. That means everything's ready to go. And you just hit start all. And all of those streams will start for you. All at once. Nothing to worry about. And then stop them all at the same time if you'd like as well. The reorder was something we talked about a second ago. You can move these around if you'd like. So let's get rid of some of these. I'm just going to delete them. Okay, so we got those deleted. We're going to delete a couple more. Delete that one. And so from here, if I wanted to, I could drag TikTok over here where LinkedIn is. Maybe I don't like to stream LinkedIn at all. I want that one at the end, so I'm going to put it down here. And instead, I'm going to move my custom one all the way up to 2. Okay, that's fine. I can lock that. And that way, if I do lock that, it's going to make sure that those cannot be moved now. I cannot move it from here to anywhere else. I cannot move TikTok anywhere else. It's locked. Okay, that's just for personal preference. I can unlock that as again, bring it back to where if I want to remove them, or I can go to settings real quick, go to that reset columns button, and